In this video, we are going to review key features of exponential graphs as well as logarithmic graphs. So let's start with an exponential graph. So an exponential graph will either be a growth graph or a decay graph. And growth, our b-value is greater than 1, and decay, our b-value is between 0 and 1. So based on this picture here, I can see that I have a decay graph because it's decreasing to the right. I can see that my horizontal asymptote will be at y equals -2. For our asymptote, it will always be y equals for an exponential graph. And our initial amount, that's the same as the y-intercept, or when our x is 0. So in this case, that'll be here at -1. Like I said, same as the y-intercept. Those are the same thing. My domain for every exponential is going to be -infinity to infinity. And then this asymptote is going to impact my range. So I can see that my range is bottom to top. So the bottom of my graph here is at -2, and the top is here at infinity. So my range is going to be -2 to infinity. So let's transfer this into graphing. So now when we're graphing, my parent function is going to be f of x equals 2 to the x. The +3 tells me that I'm going left 3, and the -4 tells me that I'm going down 4. So when I'm making my table, I'm going to plot 3 main points. So 2 to the -1 is 0.5, 2 to the 0 is 1, and 2 to the 1 is 2. I could add another point if I want, like 2, so 2 to the 4. 2 to the second, is 4, excuse me. Now, I'm going to plot these points really lightly because then, after I plot these points, I need to remember I'm moving them left 3 and down 4. So if I plot them really lightly, I'm going to zoom in here. -1.5 will be there, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 4. But now I'm going to take all those points and move them left, left 3, down 4. So this point is going to go left 3, so 1, 2, 3, and then down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this point same, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So my old asymptote was at 0. My new asymptote is down 4, so it's right here at y equals -4, same as the downshift. And then they're gonna approach that asymptote and then go up. So my graph will look something like that. So like I said, my asymptote is always my up or down shift. So in this case, it's down 4. My y-intercept, it's kind of hard to see on the graph. I didn't actually graph it very well. So I'm going to put 0 in for the y-intercept. X is always equal to 0. So I'm going to put x equals 0 in. And I'm actually going to get that the y-intercept is 4. So when I graphed this, I should have actually graphed it more like straight up, so it should have intersected there. So 0, 4. Domain is always -infinity to infinity, and then my range is based off this value, so -4 to infinity, because it's the asymptote and then up forever. Similar approach when we're talking about logs. So first, let's talk about the connection between logs and exponents. So if I have log base b of some number y equals x, if I were to convert that into an exponential, it would be the base to a number equals the answer. So log base 2 of 32 is saying that 2 to what power is 32? Well, 2 to the 5th power is 32. So log base 2 of 32 equals 5. Same here, I have 5 to what power would equal 1 over 125. Now 5 to the 3rd power would equal 125. So to make a fraction, it's going to be the -3rd power. Now ln and e are inverse of each other, so ln of e is always 1. Now this is saying 5 to what power is the square root of 5? Well, the square root of 5 is the same as 5 to the 1/2. So that means that the exponent is 1/2, because the square root of 5 is the same as 5 to the 1/2 power. So if it was the cubed root of 5, it'd be 5 to the 1/3 power. All right, so let's use this with our graph. So I can see that my graph flattens out here. So our log graphs, this is a log graph with a base, is always going to have an x equals asymptote. So in this case, it's x equals -9. Since my asymptote is x equals, it's going to impact my domain. So I can see that's asymptote to infinity. So our asymptote for exponentials was y, that's why it affected the range. So since my asymptote is x, that's why it affects the domain. I can see my y-intercept in my graph is here at 1, and my range is the opposite, so it's going to be -infinity to infinity, same as the domain for exponentials. All right, let's use this to graph our log now. So I can see that the base of my log is 3, so that'd be similar as if I had a 3 to the x power exponential. So I'm just going to use those basic numbers. So 3 to the -1 power would be 1/3, 3 to the 0 power is 1, 3 to the first power is 3, 3 to the second power is 9. Now, when I'm graphing a log function, it's the inverse of the exponential. So I'm going to take all of these outputs, and those are going to become my inputs. So I'm going to have 1/3, 1, 3, 9. And then all my inputs on an exponential are my outputs on a log. So -1, 0, 1, 2. So just like last time on the exponential, I'm going to plot the parent function, and then I'm going to move it based on the transformation. So I can see that I have a +4 in the parentheses, so I'm just going to move everything left 4. There's no up or down transformation because there's nothing after the parentheses. So I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to plot these points. So I'm going to plot 1/3, -1, 0, 1, 0, 3, 1, 9, 2. I'm going to take all those points and move them left 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so my original asymptote is always at x equals 0 if there was no movement, but my transformation, I went left 4, so my asymptote is going to be at x equals -4. So I'll approach that asymptote and then connect with my points. So when we're filling in, we said our asymptote's at x equals -4, because again, that's related to this, meaning my domain is -4 to infinity, my range is -infinity to infinity, and I can see that my x-intercept on my graph is at -3, 0. The y-intercept didn't come out nicely, that's why I didn't ask that. If you have any further questions, please feel free to ask.